Welcome back to Sawbones Barbecue. I'm your host, Old Sawbones, and with me, as always, on the camera is Todd. FT, how you living, brother? You doing all right?
Doing great.
You look thin. There's only two possibilities. Either you're sitting on the Peloton for too long or you're not getting enough to eat.
I'm hungry.
I can help you with number two. We got barbecue options today. Fun fact, Todd has no idea what we're cooking today, but he's about to find out. So Todd, you got door number one or door number two? What's it gonna be?
Let's do two.
Damn it, I was hoping you'd say one. Door number two, we got spatchcock chicken, which is gonna be delicious, but unfortunately that needs to be brined for 24 hours, which would make this a very long and very boring video. So the chicken's gonna go in the brine bucket, but we'll give Todd a mulligan. Todd, go for door number one.
Let's take one.
Racks of lamb. Yeah, now we're talking. Conveniently enough, we have two of them, so what I was thinking we'd do today is do lamb two ways. We'll do one rack on the barbecue, which is high maintenance but fun and delicious. And then, you know, in the spirit of science, we'll do a control and we'll do one in the oven the easy way. And we'll see which one's tastier, the barbecue lamb rack or the sear roast in the oven, which is kind of the traditional way. Quick editorial note, this was an accident. I did not put the lamb salt and pepper shakers out just for this video. Those are actually kind of a family heirloom. My wife's grandmother, may she rest in peace, the late Kay Neer, those belong to her. Kay Mama, as we affectionately knew her. So anyway, that was an accident, but it's kind of hilarious that I put two lamb racks in front of that, so sorry about that. Anyway, let's get cooking. So let's get this first rack ready to go. This is gonna be the one that goes on the smoker. Seasoning's really simple. I like this rosemary roast seasoning from Snake River Farms. Really delicious on beef, but I also like rosemary on lamb quite a bit. So we're gonna give this a try today. And we need a binding agent to make it stick on there. Mustard is really good on lamb, and when you have a grittier rub like this, you need something stickier than just olive oil. So we're gonna go with mustard and get a nice coating on here. All right, this first rack's all ready to go, so let's go put it on the smoker. To do the barbecue lamb, I do it kind of in two phases. About an hour of smoking at a low temperature. We're at 225. And for today's purposes, we're gonna do that on the Traeger. The second phase is gonna be a quick broil, which we're gonna do on the yoder in a new attachment they have, which is actually a pizza oven, but it works really nicely for broiling and other purposes too. So you can do the entire cook just on the yoder, which is what I would typically do. But for today's purposes, I'm gonna get the lamb smoking on the Traeger just so I can show how the pizza oven works and kind of go through that for a little equipment highlight. So first, let's get this lamb on the Traeger and get it smoking, and then we'll go over and play with the pizza oven. So we've got a temperature probe there, and I'm gonna do it on the center rack, just right in the middle, and get that smoking at 225. And that should be ballpark an hour. We're not so much concerned with the time as we are with the temperature. We're gonna get that lamb off a good 10 degrees below our desired finishing temperature. So how you like your lamb is a personal thing. Some people like it extremely rare. I don't. I like it about 140, which is kind of more medium. So we're gonna take it off around 130, which will allow me to put it in a hot broiler for a couple minutes without overshooting the temperature. So we're gonna smoke that until 130, which should take approximately an hour, and then we'll be back to move it over to the yoder. So we have the yoder YS640S, which is my preferred smoker these days. You can do the entire cook on this, but for simplicity today, I use the Traeger to do the smoking just so I can demonstrate the pizza oven and how it works and how we're gonna set it up today. So this is how the smoker's ordinarily set up for regular barbecuing, and we're just gonna go through how easy it is to switch it to the oven mode. So we'll take the cooking racks out, set those aside. Now we're just down to the heat diffuser and the little trap door, and we'll get those out of our way. And we're basically just stripping it down to nothing but the firebox, and then we'll put the pizza oven in and get it fired up. So the entire heat diffuser plate comes out, and now we're down to nothing in there except the burn grate and the firebox, and that is it. So the damper goes in all the way because we want to concentrate the heat under the pizza oven. So that's important. One of the few times that damper really matters. We want it all the way in. And now the pizza oven comes with its own diffuser plate. And this is kind of nice the way they designed this. You have really small holes on the side that's directly over the firebox, and much bigger holes as you get further from the firebox that allows more heat through. So that evens out the heat on the pizza stone and gives you really nice cooking. So that's a kind of a clever design they did there. And then all the fire comes through this slot and over top, which is what we're going to use today for broiling purposes. So this just simply slides in. And you want to go all the way to the left. You don't want any gap over there, so you're not letting any heat get over into your hopper. So that's the base. And then next we have the oven itself, and it's got 4 little tabs that conveniently fit in to the diffuser plate. So you want to line up those tabs, and that's nice and secure. And then last but not least is the pizza stone, which goes inside the oven. This one's got a little bit of experience cooking some pizzas. However, if you throw a cast iron on top of this, you can cook anything you like in there. It's not just for pizzas. So today our rack of lamb, when it's ready to finish, is going in a cast iron, and we'll slide it right on top of the pizza stone. So the stone just slides in like this. It's about 17 deep and 14 wide. So you can get a pretty good sized cast iron in there to cook on top of it. So that's it. That's the oven setup, and then we'll turn it on and heat it up and go from there. Okay, we're gonna get the second rack ready to go. This is gonna be a sear roast. So we're gonna season it, sear it in the cast iron. Then we're gonna get our same mustard and rosemary roast seasoning on it before we put it in the oven. So we'll do a couple stages here, but this is gonna be our quick and easy version, unlike the barbecue rack, which is a little more high maintenance. So we'll just get a little bit of olive oil on it on all sides, and we'll get a little salt and pepper on it, and then we'll give it a quick sear in the pan. The salt has a little bit of black pepper in it already, but I'm gonna add some more. Let's get a nice coating on this. So we've got our cast iron up in the low 400s. It's getting there, 400 to 450 will be pretty good for a quick sear here. And we'll just give it a couple minutes aside. Nice little sizzle. We'll flip it over and get the other side here. Just a couple minutes aside is generally enough, 2 to 3 minutes. We're gonna pull this off from the skillet, and we're gonna do our mustard and rosemary roast seasoning and get this ready to go in the oven. So we've pulled the lamb rack off after about an hour of smoking. It's in the upper 120s, and it's ready to go into the hot pizza oven for a little broil. I'm gonna just check the temperature. The ambient temperature in the cooker is 675, but the pizza oven is going to be somewhat hotter than that. The stone's at 830. That's about as hot as I've gotten it. So we're going to go right in the middle, give that a couple minutes of nice flame broiling on the top, and we'll just check that in a couple minutes. All right, let's see how we did. Been in there for about 4 or 5 minutes. Getting a little bit of a crust on the top. We don't want to overdo it. Starting to get a little bit of char on it. So I'll bring that out and let it rest a little bit. And we got a nice crust on it, maybe a little overdone. Pretty high temperature, but it's looking like it's ready to rest. Excellent. We'll take it in the kitchen and get the other one going. We have both racks finished and rested. They both came out right around 140 degrees, which is what we were hoping for. You can see that the barbecue rack got a nice red color on the meat from the smoke. Little bit charred on the top. I think I got a little bit carried away with the pizza oven, so hopefully that doesn't mess up the flavor, but you can clearly see the barbecue and flame broiled rack looks a little bit more red. And then the one out of the oven kind of wins in beauty points. It looks nicer, and then we'll see if it's similarly tasty. We've got the racks carved up. This one over here is the oven roasted one, and this one over here is the barbecued one. We'll see if we can appreciate much of a difference. And then I've also got a little bit of chimichurri sauce to try in there and see if that's good. I'm kind of obsessed with chimichurri, so gotta have some of that. So we'll try a bite of this one out of the oven. They had similar temperatures. They're both 140, which is about where I like them, kind of medium to medium rare. Give that a little taste. That doesn't suck.
Hey, I like that. Hey, that's damn good.
That is really, really good. The rack out of the oven is exactly how I like it. That's perfect. Let's get a nice one of the barbecued ones and see how that compares. There's a little bit of a smoke ring around the edge, which is nice. So hopefully it was worth our trouble to do all that, see if it changes the flavor anyway. And here's a bite of our barbecue one. I'm gonna try this edge bit actually, see if we like how that came out. I love it. It definitely does taste smoky. I'm getting some of the barbecue flavor for my trouble. I think I need another bite.
Please, sir. I want some more.
Similarly tender. I'm definitely getting the smoky flavor. I do think I overdid that crust a little bit. So if I had it to do over again, I'd do either a little bit of a lower temperature on the pizza oven or a shorter time, because that outside got a little bit crusty, but the meat on the inside is delicious and tender. And I do get the smoky flavor. I'm gonna give the nod to the barbecue rack. I think it's worth the trouble, with the caveat that next time I need to be a little bit more careful with the fire and not blacken that seasoning. This is a multiple choice question with no wrong answers though. Both of these came out really, really good. But I'm gonna say the barbecue one's worth the trouble. It's got a nice pretty smoke ring on it. I love it. That's that, unless you wanna watch me stuff my face, which is what's gonna happen next. We'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and we'll have more videos coming soon.